Hi, I'm hoping you had a good weekend. I had a lot of fun. I was on 2 different radio stations this weekend as a guest speaker, and I've been invited on to a different radio station this coming Saturday. So I'm very excited. I'm getting my message out there, and people are resonating with it. So, what I wanted to talk about today was the lens through which we receive information. And as much work as I've been doing on myself and my own frequency and processing the emotions unconsciously stored in my body and so forth, I still have found that I am processing through the lens of victimhood. And a large majority of our population here on this planet does see itself in victimhood, and this plays out in all of the dramas that we see in politics, in sports, in education, finance, across the board. People play the victim card. So I didn't realize I was still seeing through the victimhood lens when I was processing the information I had received from the alien interview. So that was a really profound moment for me, a shifting in my consciousness of how I see things and how I filter the information. And I was so excited to shift my perspective on the alien interview. They do talk about us being on a prison planet, and that is from their perspective. I have since done considerable research on the as well as channeling of information and receiving channeled information from friends of mine who are familiar with the amnesia system that is around our planet. It is operational as a grid. If you have seen the movie Rogue One, I feel like they showed you somewhat of what this looks like when they showed you that grid that kept people from going in and out of the planet. And this is somewhat literal on our planet, but that was done purposely by us at the fall of Atlantis. And I really want to read to you this paper my friend had sent to me about this information. So I'm going to kind of save that for later when I have her paper in front of me and I can read that. I think the information's profound. When I read through what she had to say yesterday, I literally couldn't keep my eyes open anymore. I was tired and I had to take a nap. Now, this is something that happens. There is an artificial intelligence around our planet that additionally reads our thoughts and does shut us down, as in making us feel tired and very sleepy when we start taking on too much information and we start growing too much. So it's used to keep us from expanding our consciousness, and if you have experienced this, then you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't experienced it yet, it will be an intense moment when you come to that realization what's happening to you. So with that being said, today I was watching Wilcox on Cosmic Disclosure, and they were discussing the Law of One and how the Law of One relates to this grid that is held around our planet. And really what it is an amnesia grid, so that we don't remember who we are or where we're from or why we're here, and purposely so that we could play out some dramas in this 3D dimension to continue the growth of our souls. We collectively, it is my understanding, decided to do this about 13,000 years ago, to push a reset button and go back and start over again. And in many ways, as I've been experiencing the information and taking it in, I also am feeling that we are in successive time loops. And a reading I had done for me specifically stated that this is a uncharted territory. We are in a new timeline, and the Earth is experiencing events that have never been experienced here before on Earth. So I hope that means we're headed in the right direction this time, not a destructive mode. And I truly do believe that this time we're getting it right. It feels that things just need to be done differently. So that's how we process the information, how we view the information. So getting back to this lens of victimhood. Well, when I'm reading information or I'm receiving information, I am judging that information based on my belief that in some aspects, or throughout my life, I was a victim of circumstance, and or being there's a triangle, victim, villain, hero, that we get stuck in these dramas, these 3D dramas with people, and we can I go between playing the victim and playing the hero. Some people play the villain and the hero, or the villain and the victim, or the hero and the villain. So we all play these different roles with one another when we're in these dramas in day-to-day life. But what we don't realize is that we actually see through this lens when we receive information. We kind of filter it through this lens that we have as well. So that was a big shift for me, an epiphany that how I receive the information can be filtered, and I can start changing what that filter is. I almost see it as like removing a lens from the camera and making it clear and no longer judging the information that's coming to me. So I'm trying to take it just as, okay, that's the truth, and maybe I don't understand yet why that's occurring or why we're experiencing it in that way, but I just have to continue to go back to have trust and faith within the universe and the creator that we are on the right path. Every day I am shown I am on the right path, and this specifically presents itself to me as synchronicity. I may have mentioned this before, so when I see repeating numbers, I find this to be a very powerful way to remind me that, or to confirm that I am on the right path. So if you're experiencing that in your life too, it's very helpful to keep you on track, and really keeping you headed in the direction towards more magic. It seems very magical to me when we're going and experiencing the synchronicity. So just briefly again on the alien interview, if you've had the opportunity to look at it, the first time I experienced it, I was very depressed and sad, and this time I'm incredibly exhilarated when receiving the information. I know that the time that Errol is speaking about in the interview is coming to an end here on planet Earth, and that we are collectively shifting our consciousness. We are ascending to a different vibrational frequency, at a different level, a different plane, a different dimension, and things that don't fit into that new frequency will start dissolving over the next couple years. So businesses that are for greed, and the pharmaceutical industry that isn't always have the best intentions with helping people, the education system, all of the old pillars of the old paradigm will be breaking down and be built again, built all new. This year is a year of new beginnings, 2017. So it's very exciting what's ahead, and I'm just loving sharing information with people out there. I'm loving that you're resonating with me. If you have any questions or you want to know something, please just give me a holler. Now, I am going to just kind of pause it here, and I'll pick up with in a different location later so that you can see. Just want to read to you what I had read regarding Atlantis and the fall of Atlantis, and see if that information resonates with you. It was very powerful for me, so I'm very excited to share it. All right, I'll talk to you soon.